Hey everyone, welcome to Thursday with Pastor Dan. I know last week was Monday, Thursday, so you guys got a good taste of what the youth group can do, but back with me. So today we'll be doing Psalm 119. Now don't worry, I know that it is, it is 176 verses long, so we're actually just going to do the first 8 and try to kind of deal with the other 168. So, here is Psalm 119, verses 1 through 8. Happy are those whose way is blameless, who walk in the law of the Lord. Happy are those who keep his decrees, who seek him with their whole heart, who also do no wrong, but walk in his ways. You have commanded your precepts to be kept diligently. Oh, that my ways may be steadfast in keeping your statutes. Then I shall not be put to shame, having my eyes fixed on all your commandments. I will praise you with an upright heart when I learn your righteous ordinances. I will observe your statutes. Do not utterly forsake me. The psalmist starts with, happy are those whose way is blameless, and then continues verse 2, happy are those who keep his decrees. Happiness is a very interesting idea, a thought, feeling, emotion, whatever we want to label it as, state of existence, I guess, in some ways. Happiness. What makes us happy? The most difficult thing is I can't sit here and tell you what always makes you all happy, because it's not the same thing for me. I mean, simply go with sports. My team wins, your team loses. Well, I'm happy, you're not, and that's just a super simple surface level thought, but it kind of makes sense in ways. That it's just not a unilateral thing where everybody's happy about the same thing, right? Politics, all of it, right? But we deem our happiness so much on winning or losing. We deem our happiness, the world tells us to at least, on defining ourselves in certain ways. The job we do makes us happy. The money we have, drink this, buy that, have this. All these things are supposed to make us happy. And interestingly enough, one of the most cliche, biggest phrases is, money can't buy happiness. I have had a friend who says, nobody gets me a lot closer. Now, some of those things, right, can afford us opportunities in ways to be happy because we're comfortable. We have bills paid, we have houses, we have food and things like that. And the necessities, the hierarchy of needs are met. But here's the thing. The psalmist starts with, happy are those. That means we're supposed to be happy. We're hardwired for happiness. But what is happiness? What is it to be happy? It's tough. The world tells us one way, and God says it's another. The psalmist says, happy are those whose way is blameless, who walk in the laws of the Lord. Happy are those who keep his decrees and who seek him with their whole heart. Later it says, I treasure your word in my heart. My whole heart I seek you. Over and over throughout this whole psalm, throughout the 176 verses, it's all about being happy because that's who we're hardwired to be. But in that happiness, it's about living for God. It's about holding fast to the teachings, to the laws, to having that in our mind. And the affirmations of what Scripture tells us who we really are as the beloved children of God, and living into that, not for ourselves, not having things, not holding on to things of this world, but being about God and one another. That's what's supposed to fill our hearts. The whole person, the happy person, is the one whose mind is filled with good ideas, who is inclined towards righteous thoughts. and then lives out righteous deeds. That's the happiness. That's what the Bible tells us happiness is. God created us to be happy, but that happiness is dependent upon walking in God's way. True happiness. When we're not grasping onto things of this world, but we're living for God and then thus living for one another, that's happiness. Will Willimon says that the world bombards us with messages, drink this, buy that, wear this, and you'll be happy. Here in the church, we say to the old and the young, submit to God's loving instruction. Conform your life to these precepts. Tell the truth. Don't envy what's God's given your neighbor. Don't have, don't have affairs with other people's spouses. Check your idolatrous tendencies. Don't steal. And walk along the way of God and with one another, and there you will find true and deep, lasting happiness. Happiness comes when we focus less on the world things and more on the divine things. When we focus more on the relationship with God and more on the relationships with others. Our true happiness, lasting, deep happiness, comes from walking in the ways of God and holding those true and steadfast in our hearts. So, onward towards happiness. Blessings. Hope you all have a great week. Look forward to seeing you soon.